A Moline woman says she's lucky she and her son are both alive today after suffering a rare, often deadly complication during labor, amniotic fluid embolism. Well, today is AFE Awareness Day, and tonight Jenna Webster explains what the condition is and how this mother is now fighting to help save others.
Whee!
Life with an almost 3-year-old can be chaotic.
Whoa!
Especially when he can outrun you on the playground.
Just as soon as you think you've got like his little routine down, he's like, no, different way. Different way now.
Come on, baby, come on.
We lost him, there's bubbles.
But parents Annie Hewitt and Marsh Peterson soak up every moment they can.
Who's that?
It's Dada.
Because making these memories means everything.
I had no idea. So it was,
Because 3 years ago when Annie went into labor with Dolan, all of that was at risk.
The last thing I really remember was I was laying in bed. They had given me the fentanyl shot for the pain management, and it made me very, very loopy.
And all of a sudden, he gets wide-eyed, tells the nurses, get her unplugged and get her into the operating room. And I'm like, what's going on?
I woke up and I actually didn't know if I was pregnant or not. And that was a little frightening.
Annie had something called an amniotic fluid embolism, essentially an allergic reaction to the amniotic fluid entering her bloodstream. Doctors performed an emergency C-section.
It can cause a cardiac failure or a pulmonary failure. I only had a pulmonary failure, so it was just my lungs that quit working.
They had to stabilize her for over 2.5 hours before they could even transport her.
AFE is rare. It affects 1 in every 40,000 deliveries in the U.S. We don't know what causes it. Studies suggest the death rate may be as high as 60%.
The reality is it could be more, but we just don't know because there's not a good train of research.
It's why between visits to the playground,
Wow! Good job, bud.
Annie is working to help that research.
Smile.
A bill filed in the Illinois Senate asked the Department of Health to work on a public education campaign, bringing awareness to AFE and making information available to healthcare workers about early detection and management.
Because if we know that this can happen, we can start to figure out why this happens and if there's any way to prevent it or to even recognize it, because time is so important. So even just recognizing it early enough to be able to act and intervene saves lives. I survived, Dolan survived, and so we have to use our voices.
I gotcha.
Using her voice to help other families make memories like this.
You're being careful. Good boy.
In Moline, Jenna Webster, WQAD News 8.
Good job.
And we are so honored to have Annie Hewitt join us right here on The Current in Dolan as well. Annie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us. This is great.
Did you know about AFE before your diagnosis?
No, not at all. I had never even heard of it.
Wow. So what was that like for you? Like, you have to go through this traumatic thing while also learning what it is at the same time.
Yes, I was actually told, don't Google. Like, okay, all right, I'll wait a little bit. And so eventually when I did, there was just a little blurb from Mayo Clinic, and that was about it. But it was something I'd never heard of. And I'm like, what happened? I had no clue. I woke up, no idea if I was pregnant or not.
Did you wake up while you were still in the Quad Cities before they could fly you to Iowa City?
No, I woke up in Iowa City.
Wow. Well, now you're here today with Dolan, who turns 3 in just a few months. He's so excited to be here. Have you met other AFE survivors since this?
Not face to face. I've been working with the foundation, and they've been wonderful. There is a woman in Galesburg who is fighting for her life right now. So I hope to meet her. I'm very much looking forward to meeting her.
Yeah, you were telling me her story during the commercial break. Do you mind sharing it now?
Yes, so what I've been able to gather just from different people that we all know and what's been shared on social media, she had her AFE in January. Her name is Abby Small, and she's a dispatcher actually in Knox County in Galesburg there. And she's still fighting, and we're gonna see her wake up, and our kids are gonna play together, totally.
This is such a serious complication, and yet one that so little people know about. Is that what pushed you into trying to get some legislation made?
Yes, it was. I was on the phone with the foundation working on a proclamation, and we were talking. I'm like, have you ever considered legislation? And they go, well, no, we've never had it in. And I happen to work for the Senate. So I was able to twist my my senator's arm. He is also a fireman by trade, so it was something that was near and dear to him as well. And so we were able to work with the right players to get this legislation filed and hopefully passed.
All right, so in your ideal world, what kind of legislation do you think Illinois really needs when it comes to AFE?
Without adding more mandates to our medical providers and medical fields, what we have, I think, is exactly what we need. We need it on our Department of Public Health's radar, and it needs to be something that's in the public consciousness so that when Abby wakes up, there is record with the state of Illinois that says, this happened to you, this is valid, and there are people that are working on it. They're working on research, and we're going to get something done.
Amy, how have you seen your life completely change since this moment?
I am so tired. It's been different. I have a whole new brain and a whole new body. I still switch words and lose words. I actually did it when I was testifying in committee. I looked at Senator Anderson. I'm like, what was I saying? So it's hard. It's frustrating to know that you know what you're talking about, but it gets stuck and you cannot actually express it.
How do you keep going in those moments?
You just stumble through. And eventually it comes back, or you're frustrated, and you just, one time my daughters and I was trying to explain something to them, and my whole family just looked at me like, we have no idea what you're saying. And we worked through it, and you had to work through it, and it's all you can do.
Well, can we get an update before I let you go? How are you and Dolan now?
We are doing well. We still have, he's doing perfect. The doctor, a lot of times babies can suffer neurological deficits if they're without oxygen too long. His doctor has never been worried about it. So that's incredible. We are so, so, so thankful. And I'm not as young as I used to be. So, you know, there's some stuff. Last night I got dizzy sitting down, and I had to, you know, really stop and rest. And now I listen to my body more. So I should have known that at 21, but whatever it takes.
Well, that's good advice for all of us.
Yes, definitely.
Annie, thank you so much for sharing your story, and it's just such an honor to have you and Dolan in with us today.
Thank you for having us.
For you guys at home, if you want to share Annie's story, we have our online version up at WQAD.com. Just click on the As Seen on TV tab at the top of the homepage.